Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Why is the middle class shrinking? Why are people facing an affordability crisis while marginalized individuals called informals grow in numbers? Join me as I travel the world, speaking with people living in invisibility, the leaders working to solve it, and uncovering the hard truths shaping our economy and daily reality.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Sunday morning. With us today is Gerry Scharfenberger, and he's a New Jersey Assemblyman in Monmouth County. And he's got a new bill that will fix voter ID in New Jersey, and that way every American feels that the election is, I guess, what's the best way to say it? That the election is honesty and integrity?
Yeah,
Gerry?
I would say every American would be secure that their elections are fair and honest.
And you're going to do two things. You have one bill for a voter ID, and talk to us about that first.
Yeah, sure. This bill would require every voter to show voter ID at the polls. And it's something that 36 states across the country have already adopted in some form, and it's worked magnificently. And we want to do the same thing here in New Jersey. And interestingly, John, there's been a poll that shows over 83% of Americans are in favor of voter ID. So that's astronomical as far as the electorate and their feelings towards a certain issue. So we have the backing of the majority of Americans, and we feel it's time that we secure our elections here in New Jersey.
Understood. And is there opposition?
There's quiet opposition, but the fact that the majority will not let this bill move forward says it all, that they're very reluctant to put this into for a vote. They don't want to be on record of voting against voter ID, so they just don't bring the bill to the floor. So we're hoping that the pressure from the public will force their hand to let it come to the floor for the full voting session. And I believe it would pass 80 to nothing if it was given a chance. That's how confident I am in the will of the people who want this, and the willingness of the legislators to hear what they're demanding and act upon it.
Understood. And the second bill that you're recommending is what? Tell us.
Yeah, it's to cleanse the voter rolls of ineligible voters. And what it would do, it would use a form of software called Crosscheck. And what that does, it scans all the voter rolls across the country and will pick up duplicate registrations. And you would be able to find out folks who have moved away. And in fairness, the last thing on people's minds is alerting the election board that they're moving away, so they remain registered in two different places. So you'd be able to identify which is legitimate and which is a former address. You could link it up to death certificates. So if an individual passes away, they could be taken off the voter rolls. Because with vote by mail and you have ineligible voters on the voter roll, there's a possibility of these ballots going out to God knows where, and no one really knows where they're going to end up and who's going to come in possession of them. We hear about it all the time from constituents in my office here, saying, my mother-in-law died 5 years ago, and I just got a ballot. My kids moved out 10 years ago, and I just got a ballot. So we're trying to cleanse the voter rolls, and that would really go a long way to cleaning up the elections and making sure that ballots don't fall into the wrong hands.
And again, that some people are opposed to that, bringing it to the forefront?
Well, for the same reason as the voter ID bill, it hasn't been allowed to move forward. And it really is a common sense thing, and it protects everybody. This is not a partisan issue, John.
So tell
this
us
is really something.
We're putting you on the air. A lot of people in New Jersey are listening to you right now. What can be done?
Well, what I would like everybody to do, all your listeners, is to contact their local legislators. There's 40 districts in New Jersey. and contact them and ask them to become co-sponsors of these two bills. Now, I can give you the numbers if that's okay. Bill number A841 is the voter ID bill. Bill A846 is the bill to cleanse the voter rolls. So if we can get those two signed into law, we can really have confidence in New Jersey's elections. And I think most people would agree that they can accept the outcome of any election if they're sure it's fair and honest and above board. And these two bills will guarantee that.
Well, Gerry Scharfenberger, Assemblyman from Monmouth County, please keep us informed, and we'll talk again real soon.
I sure will. Thank you so much, John.
Thank you.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best our nation has to offer, especially when it comes to health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families' health. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.